is gonna be the retailer, so he's gonna be doing the purchase. I'll be projecting and presenting you guys how everything works from the wholesaler point of view. When it comes down to pricing, how to get to the pricing, the mapping, where to see the product that gets on the stage, and availability. And then we're gonna see how, in this case, George, as the importer, will be confirming the order and how it gets reflected. Understand? Okay. Important notes: everybody is muted. Okay. We definitely will have a questions Q&A after the demo. So please, if we need to take 30 minutes extra just in Q&As, feel free to ask as many questions as you have. I want you to take advantage of this webinar and ask me as much as you can so we can clear up any questions regarding Komet to Komet. And sometimes it could be a little confusing because it's just switching from retailer to a wholesaler and then back to importer. Sometimes it gets confusing. Okay. Also, the session is being recorded and will be shared with everybody. Give it a couple of days to get it, put up on our resources pages, and then we can try to also send it out via email to everybody that attended this that webinar today. I'm also going to be, you should be receiving in a few seconds now, sending out the K2K Komet to Komet implementation checklist for you guys that are interested in doing the integration. You should be receiving it right about now. Kind of gives you a little step-by-step on what's going on, okay? So the agenda is going to be as follows. We're going to talk about, the Komet to Komet introduction, okay? We're going to talk about what does it mean to be Komet to Komet integrated, and then we're going to jump into the demo, all right? So to start off, before I go right into what does it mean to be Komet to Komet, for those of you that are new and joining us today, or in the ones that already heard about the terminology Komet to Komet and what it's saying, so I'm going to go back over again and explain it. Komet to Komet is as simple as following. It's really just a wholesaler and an importer that uses Komet sales for their daily operations. We can integrate those companies together. What is the integration? We're grabbing the importer's physical inventory and we're reflecting it over onto the wholesaler's e-commerce portal. So that way, the retailer can, when they log into the e-commerce to see the information from the wholesaler, they're seeing not only the physical inventory the wholesaler has, but they're also seeing the inventory from the vendor, from the importer, as you say, sorry. And this way, you're providing more visibility for your customers to always be purchasing online for you. So if there's something that you don't have in your on-hand inventory, you can definitely get it from your vendor's inventory, and both of you are actually selling and making money. The cool thing about this feature is that if we look at it, there's more visibility and less commitment. So now we're going to go right into what does it mean to be Komet to Komet integrated. Based on what I'm explaining, more availability is that you guys are going to be reducing, if you're still going to be buying as a wholesaler, you're going to be buying a product for your open market, right? But if, maybe you reduce some of that purchasing as open market and you actually do the Komet to Komet integration, you're already having product, so you're reflecting product as if it's yours, but in reality, you actually haven't committed yet to purchase that product from the vendor. Once the retailer logs in and does the checkout, then automatically that's when the commitment is done. Okay, and that's where the wholesaler automatically, let's say, but behind the scenes, requires the product from the importer so they can ship it out to the wholesaler, and the wholesaler delivers it to the retailer. Okay, so that's where we come down to more availability, less commitment. Okay, the vendor inventory updates in real time. This is really cool because even though we're projecting the importer's inventory onto the wholesalers, okay, if the importer is selling product throughout the day, as they're selling, the system in real time is updating this inventory. So when the retailer, in this case, I'm going to refer as Karina, when the retailer will be entering to do the checkout, they're seeing what's real coming from your as a wholesaler and coming directly from the importer. Okay. The automatic confirmation of orders is pretty much more of an internal process for the wholesaler and the importer than really for the retailer, because the retailer does the checkout, but the wholesaler, once the retailer does the checkout, the system will create a pre-book and a purchase order, which this purchase order automatically creates an invoice onto the importer's system, which we're going to go over this process visually so it has a better understanding, okay? And the last part is going to be less labels. This less labels, pretty much what we're referring to as this is that before, a wholesaler wanted to create a purchase order and then request that from the vendor, the importer in this case. The importer needed to go onto the wholesaler's grower portal platform and confirm the purchase order, and then he needed to go onto his system and then create the invoice there. So it was kind of double work, right? And then he needed to print out two labels. The importer needed to print out two labels: his shipping label and the wholesaler's inventory label coming from the grower portal from the wholesaler. Okay, which again I'll go over this step to show you what the simplicity of it now. And then, so you're having, and it's an importer, you're having to print out two labels just to send it out to your customer. Now, with the Komet to Komet, the importer's shipping label really becomes the wholesaler's inventory label. So you're, as an importer, you're only printing out one label, and as a wholesaler, the label from the importer, that's the label you'll be scanning, and that's really your inventory label now. Okay, so everything really matches, and you're going to have a little icon showing Komet to Komet and all this. So let's go ahead now, and what I want to show you here is a little graphic on what I'm talking about on the Komet to Komet integration. So this Komet to Komet graphic that I'm showing you here, it's like from the point of view of an importer. So we have, the importer here. So he's reflecting all of his product to multiple wholesalers, in this case, 3 wholesalers, right? Everything's in real time. No matter if this wholesaler doesn't buy something from it, as an importer, he's also buying. Everybody is able to see in real time the whole inventory, okay? So the cool thing is that we're going to have, all this product be available for e-commerce. This product can also be available, if in this case, what I'm going to talk about is if a wholesaler, their sales reps, wants to also see this Komet to Komet product and maybe sell it if they have a customer on the phone, they don't have to log in only to the e-commerce. We can see this product through the sales portal side, through the pre-book, or as procurement, we can also see Komet to Komet inventory through the standalone PO. So in reality, as a wholesaler, he has a huge advantage because not only this connection works for his customer, but also works for internal purposes as well. Okay. Now, if I switch over and show you guys as a wholesaler side, we're looking at it this way. Importer switching everything to the wholesaler. As a wholesaler, I'm reflecting everything to my retailers. Could be wedding planner, event planners, right? All this different information. And then in reality, when they do the checkout, they're buying product from the importer, which is going to be shipped over to the wholesaler, which is shipping it back to the retailer. It may be a little confusing, but that's why I wanted to show these little images here so you guys can kind of have a little better picture, okay? So now let's go on to the best part. It's going to be the demo. So switching over here to my main screen now, you guys should be able to see now my demo account. So within the screen here, I'm going to be acting, Danny Londano is going to be acting as the wholesaler, okay? So from the wholesaler point of view, the easy part, what I'm talking about, if you're not using Komet for full operation for X, Y reasons, you're only going to be using Komet to Komet or e-commerce, the most important thing is the following. You're going to go over to the inventory or add inventory, okay? Same thing for companies that use Komet for the full operation. They're going to come over to inventory, add inventory. Why? If they want to see what products are projecting from your importers onto your system, we're going to go to inventory, add inventory, then we're going to click on vendor units availability. There's a faster way to do this, but I want to do it this way through the webinar so it's easier to understand. If you're once you get used to it, all we got to do is if you press the period key, it brings up the screen here, and we can type anything you want, and it's actually a shortcut. So I just wanted to give you the heads up. Again, I'm just doing this, the longer way, so it makes sense for everybody. And then once I'm here, I'm going to go right into the staging area. Why am I going to the staging area? Part of the Komet to Komet features is that we will be mapping product from your vendors, okay? And I'm referring to the wholesalers here now. As a wholesaler, when we connect with the importers, product will be reflecting onto the screen. So in this case, we have the vendor product, as you can see here. It's called an Awesome Air by Color Balance, right? Well, I can say, maybe in my case, I was just doing an example earlier here. This is what I would call my product. I can say my product is called an Astro, I'm going to say Astro Balance Super Select, which could be the same one, so we can map it identical. Or if, for example, you as a wholesaler, you call it different. It could be, let's say you call it Bicolor Dreamland Select. You can just say, hey, you know what? Whenever importer X projects their product over to me, it means that their Bicolor Balance Super Select will be determined as Bicolor Dreamland Select. Okay. Once we do all this mapping, which Komet Sales will be helping you with this mapping, once that's done, we definitely proceed to confirm the products. And once that's confirmed, every single day, from there on out, everything will be reflected onto the screen, the available items. So the main screen, everybody in this webinar today, that has Komet to Komet or are looking to go into Komet to Komet are going to be focusing on for their Komet to Komet inventory is going to be here, available items. Okay, and the cool thing is that we have the little icon here that can identify that it's Komet to Komet. Away from that, we're seeing what our vendor calls their product. We know how we have our product mapped. Okay, from what vendor it's coming from. Away from that, it sees what available from what day. On top of that, we can see the quantity. And then one cool feature here is going to be unit cost. Okay, the cool thing about this unit cost here is that this is the price that our importer is selling us the product for. So each unit in this case will be $2 being sold over to the wholesaler. In this case, multi-location. Okay. Now, the really important thing about this is that throughout the Komet to Komet process, there will be specific settings that we will work at which individual company. Either we automate the prices, we do it to a price list, or we can change it manually. At the end of the day, everything is going to be either, I prefer to be automated. It's easier for everybody, so you don't have to be maintaining that so much. But just in case, I want to point out this is kind of where you guys can see the prices, what is reflecting on the e-commerce, and what is the GPM that you're making on the product. Okay. So with that said, what I want to go into now is that I'm going to be transferring the screen over to Karina, and Karina is going to be, acting as a retailer, entering a purchase, doing her checkout on e-commerce, and then we're going to see what, behind the scenes will look like. Okay. So let's get rolling on this now. All right.
Hi, good afternoon. Sorry about that. Hope you guys are having a great afternoon. As Danny mentioned, I'll be acting as the retailer. Right now, I'm my wholesalers e-commerce, and I'm seeing what my wholesalers have available to purchase. Based on what I need, I'll go ahead and enter my order. I see I have some agapanthus, bouquet winner, carnation pink. I'll say I'm going to purchase some carnation pink. Here I see the buy button. I'll go ahead and click on that. Here I have the option to add as many boxes as I want. And here so far my wholesaler has available 5 boxes. I'll say I'll go ahead and purchase 2. All right. And also here I have the selection date of when I want the product. So I'll go ahead for the 25th. I'll proceed to add to cart. Here you can see that the order has been created. I'll go ahead and click and view cart to see what I've purchased so far. Here I have my carnation pink and the 2 boxes I purchased. If I want to continue shopping, I can. But for now, I'll say I finished my order. I'll go ahead and place my order. And once it's been created, I'll see this message that the order has been created. Also keep in mind that since I already checked out, I can't edit the order. I would have to go ahead and call my wholesaler and so he can make the changes I need. All right, so that's about it.
Okay, guys. So it's as easy as that. I mean, the retailer just jumps in, does the checkout, and done deal for the retailer, right? Now, behind the scenes, soon as the retailer does check out, keep in mind that as a wholesaler, you will be receiving an email notification. Now, this could be the salesperson associated to the retailer, in this case, Karina, or we have a special field where we can put multiple emails to get that notification letting you know, hey, Karina has purchased X product, and then we can verify it. How are we going to verify it? I mean, I can go directly over to the pre-book summary. And why am I going directly to the pre-book and pre-book summary? Because remember, if you recall what I was earlier saying, is that soon as they do the checkout, it's going to create a pre-book, and then it's going to create a purchase order. So here, as we can see, here's our product. The order is the 620 we just created. How can we double check? Let's go ahead and click on the magnifying glass, and we can see here, carnation pink, 2 half boxes, what Karina actually purchased, the rest of the retailer, and it already has a PO number associated to, which as soon as this PO is created, it automatically, behind the scenes, it goes in and creates an invoice number. An invoice over on the importer side, which we're gonna, in a few seconds here, we're gonna switch over and see what George will show us in understanding what he will see on his side, and how everything gets reflected back onto our end. So again, Karina did the checkout. The checkout automatically created a pre-book here. Going back in, all I did was I went to pre-book summary, and then the first line item shows there. Or I can just use the search button or use the filters. It all depends on how each individual salesperson is operating their screen. They're going to be changing their filters, okay? And then from here, again, click on the magnifying glass. It shows me the PO number. And then now let's switch over to George and see what he's going to show us.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is George. Danny, thank you so much for that introduction, and Karina for everything that you guys have shown us so far. So I'm here playing the role of an importer, and one of the benefits of K2K is the fact that as an importer, the only thing I really need to do is worry about uploading open market inventory, making sure that it's properly priced, and voila, it'll be displayed over on my customer's end, in this case the wholesaler's end, so that a retailer such as the role Karina is playing is able to purchase the item directly from me. The wholesaler does not have a direct responsibility of owning the product. As of right now, I own the product, and Karina has pretty much made a reservation on my system. Now, as I am logging into my importing Komet Sales account, I am able to actually search for any orders that have been created. And I'm just going to go ahead and filter my invoices from the 21st of September to the 30th. The reason I'm going into my order summary screen and reviewing my recently created invoices is because the result of a purchase through the e-commerce from the retail's end, as Danny showed us, converts into a pre-book and purchase order automatically on the wholesaler, and that will reflect in my system as an importer as an invoice already created. So the only thing really pending here is for us as importers to confirm that the product is readily available to be shipped, and we can go ahead and check out those orders. If you guys notice, within the order column, we do have the K2K label, letting us understand as salespeople that those orders were the ones that resulted from a K2K purchase on the retailer's end. And we can actually go into our actions columns, because if you guys notice the status of this order, it's still being processed by salesperson. So what we want to do is go ahead and confirm on our end as importers that this order is ready to be shipped. Just as Danny showed us from the pre-book order, we go into the details of the order here, or the invoice order. I'm able to see that it is a K2K product. Notice here that there's a slight difference between the product description on the invoice I'm creating for the wholesaler versus the product description that the retailer is seeing through the e-commerce, and that resulted from the mapping that Danny showed us at the beginning. So I go ahead here, make sure that I'm able to fulfill this order. Go ahead and confirm the order. We don't need to worry. The pricing here is the pricing that we have already displayed for our open market products, so we can definitely be sure that the pricing being provided is accurate. As soon as I click on the confirm order button, this will automatically reflect as a confirmed order. This will display this product. If we are familiar with the Komet sales process, as soon as I confirm this order, instead of just the order being ready to be shipped, it is going to replicate an action in the wholesaler's Komet sales system to where that order is going to appear on their staging area, letting them know as well that this product is on its way to their warehouse so they can ship it out to the retailer. One other thing I want to make sure we cover here is the fact that we have the shipping label that has multi-purpose. So within the actions column, I can go ahead and, since I'm getting ready to ship this order out as the importer to my wholesaler, I can go ahead and click on the drop-down arrow, click on print documents, make sure that I print the labels so that my shipping team will definitely be ready to go ahead and post that label onto the box and ship it out to the wholesaler.
Thanks, George. Appreciate that. Just what George was actually showing you guys about the label part, it's really important. Now, he did it just manually so he can quickly print the label and show you guys. He's just loading up the label right now. But in reality, as an importer, the ones as you guys already using Komet know that this can be done through the automated process, or you can do it manually again. In this case, I did it manually for the webinar's reason, right? Let me go ahead and zoom in this label. And this is what I was telling you guys will be the best option right here. Now, as a wholesaler, right, we can identify that this is coming from Komet to Komet because we have the little icon right here. Okay, and again, like I was telling you, even though this label tells you right here that it's being shipped from your handler, so from your vendor, right, is going over to a vertical demo multi-location, which that would be us as the wholesaler, shows the information. But if you notice, nowhere on this label it shows the customer's name. But if you actually watch closely, you're going to see a little mark code up top. This C01, as a wholesaler, that's actually your customer's code. So in this case, vertical demo 1, I have actually as under code C01, and it's a way that me as a wholesaler or you guys as a wholesaler will be able to quickly identify which customer belongs to. And then on top of that, here, the Komet to Komet, okay? So now I'm going to switch, taking back the screen, control the screen here, and then going back into this. Now, I'm actually back into the screen as a wholesaler. Well, how can I as a wholesaler be able to track if that product where it stands? Okay, there's two ways we can track that. I'm going to go ahead and close this window here. Now, remember, we're focusing here on pre-book 620 or PO number 657, okay? As a salesperson, I can click on the fulfillment view here. And then the fulfillment view is really cool because it helps to track everything. You can see information on what's going on here. So you can see 620. It looks like our vendor already confirmed them. And if I click on the magnifying glass here, I can know what's going on with this order, right? If you notice, it shows me track of everything. So as soon as that order is actually arrives to your warehouse, as the wholesaler, again, I'm speaking, as soon as it arrives to your warehouse and is being scanned or manually confirmed as received onto Komet, then it will automatically show you here that has been invoiced, okay? Now, there's also another screen. I wanted to show only this screen, but you know what? Maybe it's best that I show you both so you guys have a better understanding as well how it works. What I'm doing is I'm going to go back over into the inventory. I'm going to go right into the staging area. And from the staging area, we can go ahead and click on search, and we can just look up the PO number that we're working. So we recall it was 956. Oh, sorry, 956 was the PO number. Was it 956? I apologize. I just lost track of it here. Sorry about that. I thought I saw 956. So let's go ahead and let's just double check again. Oh, it's 657. Oh, I was way off. All right, 657. Okay, and then there it is. There is the order. So we know it's in transit to your location. And once you receive it, boom, you can just manually confirm the order. Or if you can scan it, and it'll do the rest of the work for us. Again, that's the basic flow of how Komet to Komet works. I hope everybody, it was clear for everybody. I hope everybody that, is watching this definitely brings us some questions, so that way we can, take the time now to go into the Q&A and really able to understand what's going on with everybody and answer everybody's questions, okay? So please feel free to start sending us some questions right now so we can start answering them. All right, so we have some questions here now.
Absolutely, Danny. I see James Roberts has provided two different questions. We want to go ahead and address those. Question number one is, does the system show product in transit from importer to wholesaler, as well as date of arrival at wholesaler, for example?
James, thanks for asking that question. And pretty much, this is actually what I was just showing you. Part of the question that James is asking, it's right here. The product, we can see it, we can track it, that is in transit. There's only one thing, James. The system will not automatically add an arrival date to the order. It's just the way we create it, because something happens to the truck. We don't know if the importer may ship it on the correct day, if they get delayed. So the system doesn't automatically create an arrival date on your end. This is something that for now is being done manually. In the future, we can look into doing this automated. Definitely we can look into that. But for right now, the only way is to this screen right here to the staging or to the pre-book fulfillment. But that's pretty much it right now. Let's go for the next one.
Thanks so much, Danny. Question number two from Mr. Roberts as well. Does the system support advance orders, meaning items not in stock but available at a future date?
Okay. So when we talk about, like the future orders and the way you said it, orders in advance, in this case, the Komet to Komet inventory, pretty much based on the availability and time frames, or I should say days of service from the importer to the wholesaler, based on that time frame there, is where the customer, in this case the retailer, we'll be able to see product, let's say, 5 days out or 6 days out, right? It really comes down to setup and settings from each individual company, so we can identify that. If you're looking to do something more in the further future, meaning that maybe 2 weeks out, I wouldn't really recommend the K2K only, because K2K was originally built for something like within a week, a couple of days to be shipped out right away. So we have other inventories that can be accomplished through, which is a future sales or vendor availability that can definitely project that further future that you may be looking for. Those are the pretty much that's kind of right now for the comment to comment. It was mainly built to for something within the same week to be shipped out to your customer.
Danny, thanks so much for that answer, and James for the questions. We do have one more question. If anybody else is wanting to submit questions, please take advantage of the time right now. But Eric does ask the following question, and he says, is the PO number the lead all the way from the importer?
Thank you so much, Eric, for that question as well. So pretty much I get what, if I clearly understand your question, does that PO number relate to the invoice or from the vendor? Okay, if that's the correct, yes. The cool thing about this, if we go back really quick to the pre-book here, if we notice this PO here, when the importer sees the invoice, I'm going to quickly switch over to the screen here and show you, George is showing us the screen here really quick. If you notice this right here, the line item for the invoice that created on the importer, we can see here customer PO, and it's showing us PO number 657. So automatically the order from the importer matches directly to the purchase order on our end. So that way, when we receive the product and then we get the invoice from the importer, we're able to match where that invoice belongs to. And in this case, and we can match them with the PO number here. Okay. All right. We're only having those 3 questions. Anybody has any other further questions that we can go ahead and get addressed? No? Okay. All right. Well, then, if there's no, more further questions in this case, again, I want to thank all for joining us for this webinar today. Hope this was clear and it gave you a lot of information and details that you were probably maybe lacking. If there's any further questions that you may have, feel free to contact me directly. You can send me an email at danny@cometsales.com. You can also contact George in case you need him, which is George at cometsales.com. And Karina is more than glad to help you guys out as well, which is Karina at cometsales.com. All 3 of us are from different departments, but we're more than glad to give you different information in case you have different questions. Now, all the information we're going to give you, it's the same thing about the Komet sales, but from different point of views is exactly what I meant to say. So, again, thank you so much. There's one more question, Eric. You got me right before we left. Go ahead. And
Eric, thanks again for that question, like Danny said. And we have here, is Komet able to integrate in other systems? I'm assuming this is K2K related.
Yeah, this part right here integrated to Komet, and James Eric, is a really good question. Now, like I said earlier, I mentioned that there's different people, using part of the system, which is either they're strictly using it for Komet and e-commerce, right, or using it as a full system. If you're using it for either or, Komet is able to be integrated with external systems. Yes, we have our APIs already, set. We provide those over to your IT department, and they can proceed to integrate with external systems. If this question, integrating with other systems, you're meaning more like, if you have your own e-commerce site already and you want to grab product from Komet and transfer it into your e-commerce and do it, that is possible. It is, time consuming, but it's possible to do so. If you're maybe looking to use that because you want to integrate Komet with your current system and use both of them, that is also possible to do so. In reality, pretty much the simple answer is yes. Komet can be connected with other systems through our APIs integration.
All right, doesn't seem like there's any other questions. On my behalf, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Like Danny said, george@cometsales.com is my email address. I am part of the implementations department. Any questions related to K2K that I may be able to assist you with, we're definitely here to help.
All right, and this is Karina. Again, thank you for joining us. And you can also email me at Karina@cometsales, and I'm part of the customer service team.
Thank you guys, and again, thank you for joining. We'll be sending everybody resource with the webinar information via email once we get everything ready. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.